I came to see Dr. Cordova around October of last year because I had started seeing a therapist, and the therapist diagnosed me with ADHD. And the reason I started this whole process with the therapist was because I was feeling very despondent and just unfocused and scattered and anxious all the time because I felt I was losing control of me, my life, everything. And so I came to see Dr. Cordova after I was diagnosed with ADHD, and a recommendation from the therapist was to give me medication for that. But Dr. Cordova took a chance on me and kept asking me questions randomly, it felt at the time, to understand really what was going on. So I came to her with lots of tears in my eyes because I felt like I was just losing control. A lot of anxiety, sadness, a scatterbrain, monkey mind, like they call it. And although I felt I was doing everything right, I was seeing an acupuncturist, working out, eating well, not drinking, smoking, or anything like that, I still didn't feel like myself 100%. So she talked to me about the hormone optimization, which to me was scary because there is a general negative connotation when it comes to hormonal anything. And I do have a history of endometriosis, so I didn't want to add any cancerous type things to my body. But she explained that this is perfectly natural, and it's something that she has been studying for the last year through a lot of research on her own on what doctors were doing with this type of treatment. She felt that it was the right opportunity for me, and the timing was perfect for me to try this. Of course, I was very scared because she was talking about very foreign things, it seemed at the time. And I was scared of the unknown, scared to try yet something else that wasn't going to work. So she did talk to me about getting a very thorough blood work done to figure out where my levels were at first before prescribing anything. And so that process took about a month. And although I was still feeling scattered and feeling really just depressed and sometimes suicidal, I trusted that she was doing the right thing. I tend to be very spiritual, so it did feel like it was supposed to be part of my journey to start this process with her. And I remember going to take the blood work and just being, completely pissed about it because I was, although I trusted that this was the right thing to do at the time, I was just growing desperate because my work is very demanding and I'm supposed to be focused all the time and be there for others. And that was a big challenge for me because I couldn't be there for myself. So how could I be there for others? Not so much at work, but also at home. And so the first 3 months were hard. They were very difficult for me because I had to trust blindly in what Dr. Cordova was doing, but because my body had to adjust to what it was being fed. I remember when she got the blood work and I came in to talk to her about what would be the proper cocktail that I needed to take. She talked to me about how my thyroids were just not optimal, and they were sluggish, so I needed to take thyroid medication. And I completely went ballistic because here I am trying to be all natural about things, and how can I feed myself drugs that were just not right for my body? And so she talked me through it. She listened to my concerns, and she was open to stopping at any time if I felt I needed to. And that was important for me because I had never had a doctor say that to me at all. She wasn't arbitrary about the whole process. She was very mindful and it very compassionate throughout the entire process. So I remember taking the Armor prescription, and lucky for me, I did the research after I started taking the Armor. So I'm Googling this prescription and I see pig ears, and I called her and I said, I can't take, no, during my next visit, I said, I can't take pig's ears. I mean, I only eat fish. I barely even eat red meat. I just don't do pigs. And she said, well, you can change it to something else, but just try for the next few months and see how it works out. That was around December. And a week after that, I had a very, very scary episode where I became just completely suicidal and just started crying in the middle of the day, and I called her hysterical crying because I didn't know what to do. At that point, I was taking the Armor and I was taking the testosterone. And so she got on the phone with me. We were on the phone for past half an hour. And she said, try taking the progesterone and play with it. See how it works. Start with one pill and see how it works. I can call in the prescription for you today so that you can start seeing how it would work for you. And I was scheduled to go to Argentina later that week. So I said, oh my God, I can't take another medicine. I'm going to be out of this country. What if something happens? And she's, true to Dr. Cordova, she just listened to me freak out for a minute. And she said, try it before you go. Get the prescription today and try it for a couple of days before you leave to see how it's working. I remember it was day 2 of my cycle. And sure enough, it was like my little magic pill because I could sleep the entire night. I didn't have bad dreams, and it worked beautifully. So I came to see her the next time I came to see her was February, because I was getting sick a lot, especially after day 10 of my cycle. And I was getting worried that, again, the cocktail I was taking was just not right for me. Because I'm the doctor, not Dr. Cordova. So she said, well, so I stopped the progesterone because I was getting sick, and I figured that it must be that. So she said, what do you mean you stopped the progesterone? You have to continue it and probably take more. So in February, she increased the dosage for the progesterone. And for the progesterone, testosterone, for the vitamin D, she lowered, but she increased the DHEA. That was mid-February. And I just remember, taking the prescriptions religiously, and I don't remember the specific date, but I do remember that March 2015 was pretty much when I came out of my coma. And I'm not gonna cry, but I woke up one day thinking, oh my God, I just want to stay in bed all day and just have sex and eat strawberries with some Prosecco. and my husband's like, who are you? I don't even recognize you. But it was a huge awakening for me, because all of a sudden I felt like I had my brain back, and I had my body back, and I felt, sensual, and I felt just alive, and how, although I had been in a coma all these years, my organs work perfectly, and my limbs work perfectly, and I want to do all these things and just explore and feel alive and live every day. And for that, I will be forever grateful to Dr. Cordova.